Good day, beautiful, bountiful, beloved immortal beings, and good-looking people. Maybe you're good-looking, so always looking for and finding the good. You found good in abundance because you tune in consciously and conscientiously to Eye on Las Vegas with your humble host, Barry Shore, known as the Ambassador of Joy. Notice I didn't say the Ambassador of Joy, the Ambassador of Joy. And you know, we speak about on this show that which animates this amazing place called Las Vegas, which is really we'll call it the pirate capital of the world. What do you mean about the pirate capital? It's a place where things happen. There's energy, there's enthusiasm. And another one of the E words, there's two E words that everybody knows about. An E with an S and an X on either side, and an E that has an M-O-N-Y. And we're going to talk about that one today. We're going to talk about money. All right, people are already leaning in. Now, whenever I go talk to people from anywhere around the world, or I've traveled around the world a number of times, and you mentioned Las Vegas, everybody has heard of Las Vegas. It's one of the most known places in the world. Now, interesting enough, not only just known, if you took the entire population of all of New York City and everything around it, the entire population of Chicago and everything around, the entire population of Los Angeles, everything around you, add it all together, it doesn't equal the number of people that come to Las Vegas in the course of a year. Over 41 million people come through here purposely. It's a place where things are happening. And talk about happening, you're about to meet a wonderful guy who is really going to talk to us about that which animates everybody. Yes, sex does. This keeps it going even longer. And it's all about money. And there's nobody I'd rather talk about money with than this amazing, dear, beloved friend, Mike Larson. Mike, welcome, please. Say hello to 501,613 people around the world.
Hello, everybody, and hello, Barry. Thank you. Glad you could have me on the show. I'm excited to be here.
Well, it is an absolute delight. So Mike has an E in his name, and money has an E in his name, and we'll talk about what the E means in each one of them, in addition to standing for enthusiasm and excitement. And we're going to just jump right in. So Mike is the guiding force for a remarkable group that tours around in the United States and touches people all over the world. And it's called The Money Show. Actually, not The Money Show. It's called Money Show. And I just want to just jump right in and ask you, Mike, everybody knows what money is. What is Money Show, and why should we be listening to you?
Sure. Well, Money Show has been around for almost 45 years now. We are a company that hosts financial conferences, as you mentioned, all over the U.S. and in Toronto as well, in Canada, and previously in countries around the world too. Our goal basically is to help people invest smarter and trade wiser. That's kind of our tagline. But what that means in practical terms is we reach out to individual investors, traders, people who are managing their own money. They may have a broker for part of it, but they want to kind of do some things on the side and learn how to be smarter, better investors. And we put them together at events like the one in Vegas that's coming up with experts that, you know, the people you see on CNBC or Fox Business or what have you. They're big money managers, they're analysts, they're newsletter editors, authors, podcasters, a little bit of everything. I kind of describe it as you're sort of going like to the Vegas buffet of financial information when you come to one of our events, and you can find information about stocks, bonds, gold, real estate, whatever it is you're interested in. Chances are you're going to learn from one of our experts about what to do with that part of your portfolio and kind of what to expect as the year unfolds in the markets and the economy and all of that. So a lot of education and frankly, a lot of fun. We always try and have a great time on site. We always like to get some, places you can wind down at the end of a long day, kind of talk to your fellow attendees about what they're seeing. It's a lot of fun. It really is. I mean, I've been with the Money Show officially myself about 2.5 years, but my experience with the company actually dates all the way back to 2005 when I spoke with my former employer at the first conference. So a lot of fun, great experience, a lot of education. And let's be honest, our goal is basically to help people be, smarter with their money.
So let's unpack a few of the things, because you use a lot of E words. Experts, education, enthusiasm, and then I like to use you even use the 4-letter FU word. You didn't even realize it. What? Yes, fun, because that's how we spell fun on this show. FU, capital N, capital M. We do that because it gets people's attention. After the show, when you see your friends and your family, I want you to point your finger and tell everybody F you, and then add right away capital N, capital N. So what are you talking about? Where'd you get that? Well, I listened to Barry Shore and I in Las Vegas. He had on this guy talking about money. Oh, now people lean in whenever they hear money, the other E word, we'll call it. So as I said, Las Vegas is almost like Tortuga. Tortuga was the place in the Caribbean where the pirates gathered, and they were experts in multiplying money. Now, the good news is you don't have to steal it today. Use your brain and you work with people who know what's going on, with experts. And let's be blunt. This is the month of January. The show is going to be in February, and we're in the beginnings of a revolution. Now, we're not sure where the revolution is going, but let's be blunt. It's already a revolution. And it's not just the election of a new president, Donald J. Trump. It's the election of a mindset. And I think you'd agree with that. And the mindset is America is here, big and strong, and we want to lead the world in this remarkable quest for prosperity. I didn't call it capitalism. I called it P word, prosperity. So I'd like to speak about that. You did mention already that one of the beautiful aspects of the show, and we urge everybody to look up Money Show and attend if you can. It's the tickets are almost so inexpensive. It's somewhere between $150, $200. It's a shame not to go. Not just in Las Vegas, you'll see many other cities. And let's talk about what you see in this world of new prosperity that is about to be unleashed.
Yeah, I mean, it's the start of a new year. Event's going to be in February, and so much has changed. So much opportunity is out there, and I mean, it's changes. Obviously, you mentioned the political arena, but it's in the economic arena, the geopolitical arena. When you kind of look beyond U.S. borders and what's going on in trade, in unfortunately in some cases in conflict, a lot of different trends, different. A different sort of world environment that we have now and that we're probably looking at for the foreseeable future. So when it comes to being an investor, I mean, you can't kind of invest with the old rules or in the old styles when you have a new world and new styles that tend to be working better. So it's really an exciting time. There's a lot of opportunity. There are risks, of course. I mean, these are markets. If they just went in one direction, we'd all be rich and live on our own. Probably live in Tortuga, like you mentioned earlier. But I think it's an environment where by taking charge of your money, by being educated, by seeking out the people that aren't just kind of jumping on the internet and saying, hey, I've got to buy stock XYZ. You're learning from experts that really have a lot of experience, that have track records, that know that if they're a sector person, they're an energy person, they're a tech person, whatever, they know their sector inside and out. These are some of the people that are at the top of their game. So again, it's a whole new environment out there for investors and for traders, and you really need that education to prosper and to make the most of this environment, which is, again, quite different from what we've seen.
So this is fun. I'll make a little pun. We are very big on environment. We love environmentalists, don't we? In the sense that learn your area, become involved with people who know it, not just from their book expertise, but their experience. You're dealing with people oftentimes who've been in a particular sector, not just 1 or 2 or 3 years, but maybe decades, and have experience in growing their own portfolio and others, right? Now, one of the things we love to do in this show is use acronyms. So we came up with a good acronym for MONEY. Everybody likes money, right? MONEY. What does money stand for? It stands for making opportunities, nurturing enthusiasm wisely. We're using the Y in the sentence. Nurturing enthusiasm wisely, because everybody loves the idea of making money make money. In other words, everybody knows that money, if it sits, is nothing. It deteriorates almost by definition. If you have $100 and you just keep it in your pocket, 5 years from now, it will almost by definition buy less. Therefore, it's deteriorating in value. Therefore, you have an obligation. Am I correct on this? You have an obligation to go out and have your money work for you. So let's talk about, pick one sector that you are particularly enthusiastic about, Mike, and give us a bit of a riff on that.
Sure. There's one interesting thing that I see going on in markets is we had this situation where it was technology. Those were kind of the only stocks and the only group that was going up. maybe a year and a half ago. What's interesting is you have more groups and more sectors that are participating now. To name one would be industrials, for example. It's been an economy or a market environment where you're seeing some money come out of what was really working, was purely going up almost every day, and that was technology, and looking for new homes, looking for things like industrials. And part of that's from reshoring or nearshoring of manufacturing. Part of it's by changes in tax and regulatory policy that are probably coming down the pike in the new administration, and what that means for groups like manufacturing here in the U.S. So that's one sector that I think is sort of quietly behind the scenes really taking the lead, along with, if I had all day, I would tell you about financials too, but that's another group that's been doing very well. And it's just a different kind of environment. It goes back to your point earlier. What was working best before may not be what works best in the rest of 2025 and beyond, frankly.
So let's take a look at something. You say you like learning from the experts, as do I. And I think everybody would agree that one person who is expert in building a large, not just large, one of the largest businesses in the world today is a man named Jeff Bezos, the founder and directing energy force of Amazon. And I love listening to his speeches, his clips, et cetera, et cetera. And something that I've been listening to over and over again over the past year, by the way, with the rise of technology, and Amazon is a technology company. Let's be blunt. It started out as selling books and CDs. That was his foray into getting people's attention. Really, what he's a technology company. AWS, Amazon Web Services, is where they make their money. He was fond of saying recently, and has been repeating it over the past 2-3 years very, very strongly. He said the one question that people don't tend to ask him and that he loves bringing up is, with all the changes that we see in the world, what are the 2 or 3 fundamental things that will not change over the next 10 years? Everybody talking, AI is going to change everything. Okay, what will not change over the next 10 years? He brings up a couple of things I'll just mention quickly, and then I'd like you to speak to that. He says, people will not be knocking on my door and saying, please, Mr. Bezos, raise your prices. Everybody wants lower prices. Please, Mr. Bezos, don't deliver so quickly. Everybody wants delivery quickly. Those are not going to change. That's the human condition. What do you see, Mike Larson, with your bright eyes and overseeing tremendous numbers of people that are articulating strategies and such? What do you see as things that, let's say, are not going to be changing much over the next 10 years?
I think people's thirst for income and inflation protection are probably some of the messages we hear consistently from investors. When I talk to them on the floor at a conference, when I look at the emails coming in, when I, just kind of sort of try and get the pulse or put my finger on the pulse of the markets. I think people are looking for protection from inflation, wealth protection, and they're looking for income. And that's to be understood in an aging population like we have. People don't want to kind of outlive their money. So they're looking for ways to generate greater income. So in retirement, they're going to have, they're not going to eat their whole nest egg away. So it's strategies. Maybe it's in real estate on the income side. Maybe it's in some of these, credit funds, things that sort of invest in different types of loans and assets that are outside of the stock market, alternative assets to throw the jargon out there. That's been pretty popular. And on the inflation protection side, the traditionalists kind of are going the way of looking into gold, looking into silver, companies that are involved in the precious metal space. And then your sort of forward thinkers are looking at things like cryptocurrencies. I mean, let's be honest, people throw the term digital gold out there a lot, but there's definitely more interest, especially from younger investors, in using that for potential inflation protection or wealth protection. So I think people trying to find insulation from inflation, from rising prices, is a big theme that hasn't changed. I don't think will. And then also that thirst for income. It's something that again, I hear all the time. And we always try and, when it comes to figuring out who are we going to invite to a conference, what are we going to schedule, what are they going to talk about, that income part's always a big component, because I know, my own father and, friends and family are very interested in it. And I think that's not going to change at all.
Oh, I love it. Passive, ongoing income. and protection from inflation. Okay, and we have, speaking about protection from lots of things, we have sponsors. We wouldn't have them on if we didn't think they're worth your time and attention. We'll be right back with Mike Larson and the Money Show right on the other side of this. Don't go away. You're going to love it.
What if you could shop at your favorite local stores, swipe your current credit card, and get extra cashback rewards? And what if you could also have donations sent to your favorite cause at no extra cost to you? What if this amazing program was absolutely free and very simple to set up? Well, What If is here. Welcome to Einstein Cares, where your everyday shopping gives you and your favorite cause extra money. It's fast, it's easy, and effortless.
Good day, beautiful, bountiful, beloved immortal beings, and good-looking people. Maybe good-looking, so I was looking for and finding the good. Our cup runneth over with good. His name is Mike Larson. He is the driving force, the organizer of Money Show, which is happening in February in Las Vegas. I urge everybody who's able to attend, you should attend. It's almost too cheap. You got to invest the money to do this, and your time. Your time is far more valuable than money. The money is just beside the point. Be attending because it's good for you. And then again, there's going to be other ones in Dallas, Miami, Orlando, Sarasota. Just go moneyshow.com and you'll be able to understand more about it. Let's talk a little bit about you, Mike, because it's important. People talk about experts and such like that. And I like speaking about what I'm going to tell you now is that your background in university, you went to Boston University, you worked for Bloomberg, you've been involved in the world of finance for decades and such like that. When you were at Boston University, where did you live? Do you remember?
No, absolutely. I lived in the dorms the first year on Commonwealth Avenue. We kind of called it it was Warden Towers, which is kind of designed after, rumor has it was designed after the same architecture as a jail originally. So the student tower there, but moved off campus, lived in Alston, Brighton area, real nice place. If you're a 20, 21-year-old student, you got all kinds of restaurants, bars, friends living nearby, and so on.
Very good.
It was a lot of fun. I love Boston.
Right. So you're going to say, "What, Barry, why are you pushing me on Boston?" Because I was born in a place called Dorchester and raised in Brookline.
Okay.
And, Brookline it's an amazing place, right?
Oh, absolutely.
Yes. And went to University of Massachusetts, did all kinds of great things. So when you were working with Bloomberg, did that give you an insight into the dynamics of the financial markets?
It's kind of funny. Just to go back a little bit further, my dad has been an investor all his life, and he tried to teach me and my older brother about sort of the stock market investing years and years and years ago. And I remember not really understanding or not being passionate about it, but I kind of kept some of it in the back of my head. And then as I got into college and I was a journalism major, English double major as well, just kind of trying to figure out what kind of writing, what kind of work I wanted to do. And it just so happened I was up there for the summer for classes, and they needed an intern in the Bloomberg News Bureau. So I said, okay, what the heck, let's give it a try. And so the financial journalism side of it kind of fell into my lap, and I realized as I started to do it, I found it really interesting. I mean, I think one of the best things about markets is you lose money one day. Well, guess what? You still wake up and the next day there's another opportunity out there. It was the same way from my career side. There's always something to talk about, always something to write about, always something to try and help educate your listeners or readers or viewers about. So it really appealed to me, and I just I stuck with it. I after I was done in Boston, moved to Florida. There's a company called Bankrate.com, wrote about mortgages and real estate and so on. And then moved on to the stock market with Weiss Ratings and Weiss Research, the company I was at, where I first presented at a Money Show. So I've done a little bit of the personal finance, a lot on the investing side, and I just find it interesting. I really do enjoy the educational side of it, and just trying to make a topic that can be complicated a little less complicated and a lot more profitable for people.
Okay, I was hoping you were going to say what you just said. See, did anybody who's watching and you're seeing Mike's whole being light up when he's talking about the journey and what he's done and such like that. And if you listen, you can hear it in his voice. It's about the interesting, exciting, ongoing benefits of being involved in the marketplace. See, when you're in the market, I'll tell you what my father taught me, and he was a very successful investor over the long term. And he said, if you are involved, you will not fail. Yes, of course you'll make stumbles. Hello, that's life, that's business. Things go up, things go down. But it's the Warren Buffett viewpoint of long term. It's understanding that you're here for long term and that there are always opportunities. As you said, our acronym for money, MONEY, is making opportunities. The O is opportunities. I actually came up with a acronym for your name that has to do with money. Would you like to hear it?
Absolutely.
Okay, so Mike, Mike. Money incentivizes knowledge every day.
I might need to steal that. I hope that's not trademarked.
But that's who you are, and that's what this is all about. And it's I'm heartened by what you said, because everybody is listening, and people around the world, and most of the people who listen are not from the United States. They're all around the world. Everybody wants to live in the United States. Why? Because it is the place of opportunity. Let's be blunt. This is the O country. The same thing is, though, in your mindset, no matter where you live. If you're an opportunity-oriented person and you have even a little bit of money, I'm talking about small money even, $50, $100, $200, you can begin investing in mutual funds and index funds and just start reading and learning. Learn to use the language. Am I correct on this? When you begin to use language, you said so eloquently and elegantly, take complicated, complex issues and make them, how should we say it, capable of understanding and then asking questions. And that's the beauty of Money Show, by the way. I'm going to emphasize it again. Money Show is not just there to listen, which it is, it's to ask people questions. Is that correct?
Yeah, absolutely, Barry. I'll tell you, one of the things that I hear constantly feedback from people is, look, I learned a lot from your experts. I love the keynotes. I love the panels, whatever. But I also got so much from being in a room with 200, 300, 400, whatever of my fellow investors who gave me their best idea, or maybe said, you like that stock, but here's something you might want to think about. That interaction, that spirit where you're with like-minded individuals that, again, maybe multimillionaires, maybe only have a couple $1,000s to invest. We see all types. But the thing they share is that they want to learn more to sort of take charge of their own finances. They're there to bounce ideas off of each other. It's one of those sort of serendipity type things you get when you're in person.
So that, again, if you're watching and you see his face light up when he's talking about this, the ultimate marketplace is the human experience. Now, I'm going to make a obvious statement, and I think it sits well. AI is wonderful. It's artificial intelligence. It will never, ever replace human intelligence. It can, in certain things, it will be faster, better, cheaper. There's no question. However, it will not change the dynamic of people speaking with each other and sharing with each other and interested in helping other people. One of the things I found in attending places like Money Show and such is that other investors willingly share. It's not that they're holding messages. Oh, this is mine. I got it. We love talking about success, don't we?
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. I mean, again, that sort of human touch to it, that interaction. I mean, the cocktail reception at the end of the day, or the meet and greets, and you get to shake your hands with the speakers and take your selfies if that's the thing you want to do. That's the kind of stuff that it's always fun to watch. I think people, again, the feedback we get, and it's not all good. There's some things people don't like, but we constantly hear that sort of interaction, that personal touch really makes it worth it for the vast majority of people who talk about their experience there.
So let's be blunt. People like hearing about other people, about names. Can you drop just 3 or 4 names of people that, wow, that person's going to be there? I'd like to hear that. Give us some names. Be a name dropper. Come on, Mike.
Sure, no problem. I mean, everybody's focused on what's going on in the tech space. So a couple of our big names there. We have Dan Ives, who's going to do a virtual presentation, talk about what's going on in AI and in the tech sector. We have Mark Mahaney, who's another guy. He's at Evercore ISI. He's been following the technology space for a quarter century, really at the forefront since the first internet boom days. So he'll be there talking about that sector. We've got people like Keith Fitzgerald, who's a really, a big sort of big picture type view, tells you a lot about taking charge of money, does have some expertise in tech as well. And we have some people that will talk more big picture, kind of 36,000 feet up. Christina Hooper from Invesco. I mean, Invesco manages more than $1 trillion in assets. She's one of their big strategists. She'll be there talking about the big picture. I guess the last name I'd throw out would be Ed Yardeni from Yardeni Research. He's been a Fed watcher, an interest rate guy, a sector guy for.
We have Dr. Mark Skousen is going to be there, if I remember.
Yes, thank you. I have to throw his name out. It's funny, just to backtrack again, having gone to money shows myself since 2005, he's been involved with the money show for a couple decades before I joined. Mark is a fantastic speaker, always brings his best ideas, and is not willing. He's always willing to go toe to toe in a little friendly debate with people if he needs to. So I'm excited to hear what Mark has to say and some of the names and sectors he's going to talk about.
So I'm going to make a bold statement, and you can say you're off or you're right, etc. We talked about people in the room and fellow investors. The beauty that I have found of being involved with Money Show and some of the people you've mentioned is that everybody cares. People really care about success. Everybody's success. Now, this is my success. It's what can we do? Because people in the money world understand that as business progresses and things happen that are good and positive and purposeful and plentiful, everybody wins. And we're talking not just everybody meaning a few thousand investors. We're talking about the hundreds of millions of people in the United States and Canada and the billions of people around the world, because the United States is the tip of the spear, right? So here you're dealing with Money Show with people think money, this and that. It's money in the most beautiful sense, creating opportunities. Am I right on this?
Absolutely. Absolutely. I mean, people, again, it's that thirst for sort of, taking control, taking charge of your own finances, of your own investments, and then doing, having the freedom because of your success to do what you want, to support the causes that you want, to go out and build businesses and invest in other businesses as well. It's a great sort of free markets type environment where you're going to get those great ideas and you're going to benefit from being in a room, again, of like-minded individuals who share your own sort of passions and goals.
Well, there's another F 4-letter word for everybody. Free. It's free in the sense of the free exchange of ideas, the underlying foundation of what we call, for want of a better term, capitalism. It's really free market. The underlying foundation is the free exchange of ideas. And some will do better than others. However, it's the idea of exchanging as opposed to a lot of countries that are constricting. Yeah. The United States is a place of expansion. And right now we're going through, because of the election, the electorate has chosen to say, we prefer expansion over contraction. We don't want this mindset of people looking over and regulating too much. We want as little as possible to unleash the power of the human condition that is driven to bring opportunities. Because if I am successful, guess what happens? I help you. I'll give you this parting, and then I'm going to ask you some questions. My father, as I told you, is a very successful businessman. He taught me at the age of 9, and it was a great story about me shoveling snow. But when I came back, he asked me, my dear beloved son, how do you spell business? And I'm a precocious kid, 9 years old. I said, B-U-S-I-N-E-S-S. He says, right. Notice that the U comes before the I. When you are out there helping other people as much as you can, the I will always be taken care of. You don't have to worry. It's a law of the universe. Now, it took me decades to internalize that. However, the idea, this is what you're talking about, Money Show. Everybody needs to be involved. Look it up. Get them. Just if you're anywhere near Las Vegas within 3,000 miles, come to it. Well, I'm loath to say these words, Mike. However, I'm going to do that. I have 3 quick questions for you. You ready?
Yes, sir.
Number 1, will you come back again?
I absolutely will.
Oh, thank you. Number 2, Mike Larson, what is your most fervent desire?
Oh, geez, to help people, as part of this role, to help people just be educated, help them out, help them on their journey.
Everybody, do you hear that? That is the dynamic of people who truly are involved in the understanding, the true understanding of what money is. An awesome tool, a most horrible master, a great servant. And the third, may I give you a hug in front of 503,928 people around the world?
Absolutely. I think the number's gotten higher just since we started.
Let me tell you what HUG stands for, because it's all about money. Heartfelt, unlimited giving. Ready? 1, 2, 3. And our prayer for everybody listening, again, go forth on money. Money stands for, remember, making opportunities, nurturing enthusiasm wisely. And when you do that, everybody wins. You'll win, and the people you're involved with will win. And we make a better world by creating more opportunity and prosperity for everybody. So a prayer from Barry and Mike is, go forth, live exuberantly, spread the seeds of joy, happiness, peace, and love. Go mad. Go make a difference. Mike, don't go away.
Thanks, Barry.